Hello everyone. So the next topic which we will be discussing is about the apoptosis. So apoptosis, it is a Greek word. So in Greek there was a word which was apo, which means from, and tosis, which means falling. So this has been derived from a Greek word. So it is a process of programmed cell death. Apoptosis and the programmed cell death, they are basically the synonyms of each other. So apoptosis is the most common form of the programmed cell death, and there are several non-apoptotic programmed cell death such as autophagy and necrotesis that have been reported. So let's start with it. So first, the definition of the apoptosis, which can be defined as a natural biological process of the programmed cell death in which the cells destroy themselves for maintaining the smooth functioning of the body. So to maintain the smooth functioning of the body, apoptosis is necessary, which is the programmed cell death. Now, about the apoptosis. So, as I have already told you that apoptosis and the programmed cell death, they are the synonyms of each other. It is the most common form of programmed cell death. There are several non-apoptotic programmed cell death as well, that is autophagy, necroptosis, that have been already reported. Now, it is a biological process which occurs in all the multicellular organisms, including the plants as well as the animals. So, how is apoptosis important? So, apoptosis is important because it eliminates what it eliminates. It eliminates the precancerous and virus infected cells. So, it eliminates these virus infected cells and the precancerous cells, and it also maintains a balance of the cells in the human body, and it also enhances the immune system. Now, what are the possible examples of the apoptosis? So here I will take the example of a tadpole which gets converted to the frog. So as the tadpole transforms into a frog, it destroys and reabsorbs its entire structure. Tadpole measures Tadpole matures the cell from its gills, fins, and tail and die by the apoptosis signal. So this is what is known as the apoptosis. Now, there are two forms of apoptosis or two forms of cell death which undergoes these. This is the two forms. So the first is the programmed cell death, which is called as the apoptosis, and an uncontrolled death of the cell, which is called as the necrosis. So what is necrosis? It is the uncontrolled death of the cells. So both the apoptosis and the necrosis, they occur under different circumstances and they involve different steps as well. So the term apoptosis was from the Greek word which meaning dropping or falling off. So who introduced this term? So this term was being introduced by the Carville and Curie. So these were the scientists who discovered this term. Now it is the biological process which occurs in all the multicellular organisms, and it includes the plants and as well as the animals. So it removes the cells from the organisms that should no longer be part of that organism. So this process plays a major role in the development of the humans and in developing and maintaining a healthy immune system. Now, on an average, there are around 50 to 80 billion. There are about 50 to 80 billion cells that die every day in adult, in human adult due to the apoptosis. So, during this biological process, the infected cells, the precancerous cells, and other cancer cells, they are eliminated successfully, and they maintain the balance of the cells in the human body. Therefore, it is an essential process that is responsible for the normal development of the cells, cell cycle, maturation, and maintaining the regular functions and activities of the cell. So that is why apoptosis plays a vital role in the human body. It also occurs in the vertebrates that have fingers and toes like digits. So it also occurs in the vertebrates. Now, a slight mistake during apoptosis can result in the fused toes or fingers. So whenever there is a slight mistake in the apoptosis, the fingers may be fused with each other, or there may be an outgrowth with the finger that can occur. So the loss of the tail of a tadpole when it develops into a frog is yet another example of apoptosis as well. So this is an example of apoptosis. Now the next is about the two pathways of the apoptosis. So the process of apoptosis undergoes the two pathways. And what are the two pathways? The extrinsic pathway and the intrinsic pathway. So we will be discussing in detail about these two pathways. So first we will discuss is about the extrinsic pathway. So this pathway triggers the apoptosis in response to the external stimuli. So there is an extrinsic, which means there is an external stimuli which has been involved, like ligand binding at the death receptors on the cell surface. Also, these receptors, they are the members of the tumor necrosis factor gene family. So this is a factor of TNF family, and these receptors initiates the caspase activation as well, and that will result in the process of apoptosis. So this is about the extrinsic pathway. Now comes the intrinsic pathway. So this pathway, intrinsic as the name suggests, so it will be involved in the internal stimuli. So internal stimuli can be the biochemical stress, the DNA damage, and the lack of the growth factors. So this particular pathway, it is being modulated by two groups of molecules, that is the BAX and BCL2. So this pathway is being modulated by two groups. Now, these groups of molecules determine whether a cell will survive or undergo apoptosis in response to the stimuli. So here the stimuli will be the internal stimuli, because here we are studying about the intrinsic pathway. Now, what is the significance of apoptosis? Apoptosis is significant for the number of reasons. So what can be the possible reasons? First of all, it will help to maintain the hemostasis in the multicellular organisms. There is a proper size of the body which is maintained by the apoptosis. So by the process of apoptosis, the proper size of the body is being maintained. Apoptosis, it maintains the consistency of the cell number in an organism, and the unwanted cells, they are being eliminated from the body by the process of apoptosis. There are dangerous T lymphocytes which has been eliminated by the apoptosis, and programmed cell death is one of the important, crucial for the cell development. So programmed cell death is crucial for the cell development. Now, what is the role of apoptosis? So the separation of fingers during the development of the fetus is due to the process of apoptosis. So because there is a programmed cell death which occurs, and that is why the separation of fingers is there. If there is a slight mistake in the apoptosis, the fingers may be fused. It also results in the closure of the neural tube in the dorsal part. So this is also the role of apoptosis. It also leads to the removal of vesicle remnants such as the pronephros. And during the determination of the sex of the fetus, the Wolffian ducts, they are being removed by the cell death or by the process of apoptosis. So apoptosis allows the removal of reductant tissues between the bladder and the umbilicus. So these are some of the roles of the apoptosis in the human development. So this was all about the apoptosis. These are some of the references. Thank you.